Cousins signing with Atlanta not a surprise? There's even conversations of not or investigation of tampering and things of that nature, but not a surprise. Obviously, Cousins going to Atlanta.
Yep.
The surprise, I think, is not only Russell Wilson finding a landing spot in Pittsburgh, but being given, from what it appears, assurances that are normally afforded somebody who's been with the franchise 7 years rather than 7 days. The clearing out of the previous first-round draft choice for whatever reason, but the clearing out of him, and then the addition of Justin Fields, and then again appearing to be given the reins despite Fields' arrival 10 years younger. Are the Steelers Russell Wilson's team right now, Albert?
I think it's like you have to go through the whole timeline here to really just kind of break down how this happened. Russell Wilson was not given any assurances when he signed. On the Saturday night before they signed, Tomlin and Kenny Pickett talked. And, Kenny Pickett was told it's going to be an open competition, right? And let the best man win. I don't know if we're going to sign Russell Wilson. And at that point, it looked like they might not. It's like, but if Russell Wilson's coming in here, then we're going to open up the competition and we're going to let the best player play. On Sunday, Russell Wilson signs. On Monday, Pickett and Tomlin talk again. Tomlin basically says Ty goes to the veteran, and Russell Wilson's going to have what they call pole position here, which means he gets the first snap in the spring and he gets the early reps with the first team. Doesn't mean that Kenny Pickett can't compete, but it does mean that Russell Wilson's going to get the first reps with the first team. Now, Kenny Pickett has every reason not to trust that because of the way certain things were handled over the last couple of years, the way he was benched last year, and that was when he asked for a trade. So then they trade him out of town because Mike Tomlin, as he's famously said, wants volunteers, not hostages, right? So they trade him out of town. And that basically elevates Russell Wilson into a position where now he is the Steelers starter. And then they go and they bring in Justin Fields and they have a discussion with Justin Fields and say, you're coming in here as the backup. And could that change? Maybe, but I think, through the spring at least, it's going to be Russell Wilson's team. So Russell Wilson will be the starter through the spring. If Justin balls out in the spring and Russell doesn't look very good, could that change in the summer? It certainly could, because this is a team that had Kenny Pickett, remember, working with the third team in the summer of 2022. And in week 5, he wound up being their starter. So things can change, but because of the circumstance, the way all of this went down, Russell will get to work with the ones in the spring and Justin Fields will be with the twos.
And obviously the setup for Russell is perfect, right? I mean, from
if he plays well, yeah.
Exactly, if he plays well. But how does Justin Fields not ball out in the spring? I mean, he played some of his best football towards the end of his tenure there in Chicago, and I'm just stunned. I'll be straight up. I would think you'd want to see the 25-year-old, in this mix. I don't know.
I would not
say you're the backup.
I would not underrate Arthur Smith's role in all of this.
Okay.
I think one of the things, if Kenny Pickett was being honest, I think one of the things that was so problematic was how the Steelers had sort of lost their way offensively from a scheme standpoint, really going back to when they fired Todd Haley. For whatever anybody thinks of Todd Haley, the production there was fantastic. Top 10 in total offense every year, top 10 in scoring every year. They were one of the best offenses in football while he was there. And remember, Haley succeeded Bruce Arians, who, BA did a really good job there. So they had been, over Tomlin's time, really good offensively. And then they, hire Ben's buddy, Randy Fichtner, to be the OC. That doesn't work out. And then they promote Fichtner's quarterbacks coach, Matt Canada, up, right? So that's what they've been dealing with the last 5 years. Now they bring in Arthur Smith, who's as accomplished an offensive coordinator as there is in football, right? And I think the thing that's really interesting about what Art brings to the table is the amount of different types of quarterbacks he's worked with, right? He built an offense for Marcus Mariota. He built an offense for Ryan Tannehill. I think, his ability to do that, his confidence in himself to do that sort of thing actually kind of bit him in Atlanta. And then he was confident that he could do it Mariota, for, Desmond Ridder, for Taylor Heineke, for all those different guys in Atlanta. It wound up biting him. But there's no question about his ability to retrofit his offense for whatever his quarterback skill set is. So that's good news for Russell Wilson on the surface, at least, right? Like, because Russell will have a guy building an offense for him. But if there's one inkling that he's not buying into what Arthur's building for him, well, Arthur can build an offense for Justin Fields too. So I think Arthur Smith becomes a really valuable piece here for Mike Tomlin, where when they get to July and August, they'll have an idea of how to maximize Russell Wilson, but also an idea of how to maximize Justin Fields. And I don't think it'll be until then that they really have a clear idea of the landscape, which I think is an advantage to have because, in this case, gives you the chance to turn over every rock and getting the most out of the quarterback position.
No doubt. They're going to pick up his fifth-year option? What do you think?
I don't think so. It's too expensive. $25 million fully guaranteed for 2025. I would say no. I would say you let this thing play out. You have the franchise tag if Justin were to come out and kill it, but I think for right now they decline that option and they go forward with Russell Wilson in a contract year and with Justin Fields in a contract year and just let the whole thing play out.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.